Hospital ports, pride and dignity, stop the New World Order, welcome to HPANWO TV. And we've just seen the first speaker of the day. That was Andrew Johnson, and he's quite a warm-up act. So, what do you reckon?
It was quite controversial, and in fact he did actually say to start with, this might upset a lot of people, because I think he was going down that route because he was at the end talking about Richard Hoagland, Ian R. Crane, and Richard Dolan especially, but he was talking about 9/11 and not UFOs.
What he was saying, he was good. What he was basically saying, he says, if you really make people think, they'll hate you. He says, I'm going to name individuals that might make me unpopular, but I'm suspicious of these people. I'm just saying what is the truth. And he did name a lot of people. It was related to the work by Judy Wood. It was not, and he said it's absolutely vital to understand that the connection between 9/11 and directed energy research. But he mentioned some people who, in some cases, I do share his suspicions. I mean, Stephen Greer, I've completely gone off.
Alfred Weber, I'm not keen on Alfred Weber. I always think, I don't know if he does it deliberately, but I think Alfred Weber just, he absorbs anything anyone says to them.
I was always quite fond of Alfred, but I still am, but Nick Pope, enough said. We'll be given a plenty. We'll be saying a bit more later. But Richard Dolan, he mentioned some people who I've got a lot of respect for, like Richard Dolan, Ian R. Crane, Alfred Weber, and he suggested that these people are not being entirely honest. Now, in terms of Alfred Weber, you see, did a speech praising Judy Wood. And he did an interview with Judy Wood and John Hutchinson, and later on he interviewed Lauren Merlo. Was it? Well, not Lauren Merlo. What's her name? Lauren Murray. That's her. I knew it was someone. The chemtrails expert, and she. And he said, well, look, he actually cut her off from talking about Judy Wood, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now, that is odd, actually. That is odd behaviour, and I hope that's not the case, because I am fond of Alfred. And I know you don't think much of him.
Yeah, I think with this 9/11 thing, I don't know if research, high-profile researchers such as Richard Dolan and Richard Hoagland have actually been pulled into a quiet room somewhere and said, look, don't fucking mention this, whatever you do. And obviously, I met Richard Dolan. He's not exactly the most macho fella. He's quite timid and everything like that. And say something like that to someone like that, or even someone like me, I'd be a bit, fucking hell, I better not speak about that again. So maybe that's happened, maybe it hasn't. Maybe they're just kind of sitting on the fence about the whole thing, because on Richard Dolan and Bryce Zabel's site at AD After Disclosure, they made a big thing about 9/11.
Yeah, we were talking.
And UFOs don't mix.
Yeah, we were talking before about how Bryce Zabel in particular, but several other people have done this, and they've said UFOs and 9/11 don't mix. Don't talk about it because they'll make us seem like loonies, when we've said, it's essential to understand the link between these two. Andrew was saying it's essential to understand the link between 9/11 and the directed energy research. Because directed energy works, it exists, because the US Air Force is researching it. They've already found ways of taking down a drone by microwaves, and there's a YouTube video
YouTube clip
showing them shooting down a drone.
That's quite old, that YouTube clip.
They're not using sort of anything esoteric and sort of anything like Hutchinson or Judy Wood but they're using microwaves, they're using electromagnetic radiation to shoot down this drone.
This is one thing Exopolitics does encompass, as well as the UFO and the alien mystery. It encompasses the free energy cover-up. It's actually a big part of Exopolitics itself. So at first I was thinking, wow, 9/11 during an Exopolitics conference, but it all makes sense when you link it to the free energy and the cold fusion technologies. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I should. One of the people he mentioned, of course, was also Ian R. Crane, who's someone I got a lot of respect for.
I think he gave Ian a pretty bad press because we were at the conference.
Now, there's the important thing. One important thing he mentioned that Ian he showed a footage of Ian at an event at Conway Hall. Now, perhaps it should be qualified exactly what kind of event that was, because it wasn't the kind of event that he normally speaks at, was it? It was very, very different.
It was about conspiracy theories. Now, they wanted to present both sides of the argument, but what they had was, they had an organisation which you all might have heard of called Demos, and it had the Demos twins there.
118, 118.
Yeah, and another two or three people, I think, presenting against conspiracy theories, then you just had Ian Crane against the whole lot of anti-conspiracy theorists. So Ian Crane might have just been trying to condense his arguments, whereas like he might have skipped over something. But I think I'm not too sure about Ian or Crane. I think he's a good researcher. I don't have a bad word to say about him.
What it was the British Humanist Association organised this event, which is basically a group of, it was a skeptics. This was a skeptic event, and Ian was kind of like a hostile witness. He was rather like Marcus Allen was at the British Interplanetary Society. Which, now I write about this event on HPANWO, and also I've written a review of Ian's and the other events at that British Humanist Association conference, because it was a day-long conference and me and Richard went along there. Now, I think the thing is, Ian actually does Ian made a video on the 10th anniversary. It was one of those 10th anniversary videos of 9/11, in which he does give a more detailed account of Dr. Judy Wood's work, and he does criticise it, and he criticised it in a more detailed way. So I think of all the people Andrew accused, I mean, he may be right in some cases, and he's got a right to voice these suspicions, and I hope he hasn't, you know, if anyone's upset by what he said, then that's their problem, really.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's evidence to look at, you've got to look at it. You can't, like we talked about last night, you can't just look under the bed and go, I better move that dirty pair of underwear and forget about the broken down set of Monopoly and the shoes that are 6 sizes too small and everything else dusty under there. You just can't do it. You need to get everything out from under the bed and clean under the bed.
In terms of Ian, I think Ian's... I don't think he's been fair to Ian in this case. I mean, it's true, Ian. I don't think Ian has bought into Judy Wood's idea, but I don't think Ian is specifically trying to distract people or divert people away from Dr. Judy Wood. I think Ian has, he has a legitimate argument against Dr. Judy Wood's work, but maybe he'll refer to that more in a future broadcast or future speech. Now he's heard Andrew's event. But what's the time? I think we've got to go back now, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got Silent Killers up next.
Yes, we're having a video.
Which is, personally, I think it's Richard's magnum opus.
Yes. It discusses the very, very widespread and very, very long, the long-standing and very extremely unexplained and mysterious and very disturbing phenomenon of animal mutilation. So we'll give you a review of that in a minute. So this is from me and Richard. Till the next point of interest, Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, stop the New World Order.